Division Maintenance Engineer with the North Carolina Department of Transportation for the Division 5 highways. So we're over maintenance and operations for the Raleigh-Durham area, and then extending north up into Virginia, up to the Virginia state line, including Person counties, Vance, Warren, Wake, Granville, Franklin, and then here in Wake and Durham counties. We are starting salt brine operations today. What we're expecting is we've already dispatched the first couple of trucks out, and we'll be running brine operations on our lower volume primary routes today. Then tomorrow we'll be back and focusing more on the interstates and the higher volume routes. And starting in the morning, this is a little different event. We're out 72 hours before anticipated snow, but with the cold temperatures, it really reduces our window of where we can actually take and apply brine. We're looking for mid-20s and sunny is a good start for us, both at air temperature and pavement temperature, which we're at this point. We'll continue brining operations approaching dark when the temperature starts to drop. At that point, we'll do brine operations today, Thursday, and a scaled-back version on Friday as we start transitioning our equipment from salt brine applicators to plows and spreaders. We have a very robust operation today. This is our first big-scale salt brining operation in over 1,000 days. So we're excited, but we're also realistic that we're going to have a few bumps along the road. But well, so far so good.
How have things changed since the last time you had a big operation like this?
Since it's changed, particularly in the Raleigh area, the Raleigh-Durham area, we've added about 80 lane miles with the completion of the toll road 540 as well as the expansion lanes on I-40 heading into Johnston County. To compensate for that, we've brought on an additional 15 trucks that'll be helping us throughout our operations. But it's more. So when you have a smaller window of opportunity to put out brine, we're here at 10 o'clock getting ready for brine operations, and we're going to have to knock out a little earlier. That's making us start a little sooner.
It's been more than 1,000 days. That's a long time for this operation. How are you guys staying prepared and up to date on last minute out?
Absolutely. Well, we do training, and we start taking and looking at our equipment generally starting in September, October, November, making sure everything is up and functional. We also go out and do dry runs. We take and pressure test our salt brine applicators. But it's one thing to pressure test them. It's another thing to put them on the road operating for hours on end. So we're ready, but we also have our equipment crews on standby to be able to address our breakdowns as we do occur.
Can you talk a little bit about numbers of how many employees, how many trucks, how much salt, everything you're dealing with?
Approximately, in Division 5, we'll probably have close to 350 trucks on the road and operators on the road. These are all hands on deck, so we'll have folks that are normally our signal techs out taking and helping us clear our roadways. We also have a very robust contract operation. Here we actually have contracts, salt brine, that's helping our DOT salt brining operations. We don't get the volume of snow and ice events like some areas see, so we rely on a lot of help outside of DOT as well.
How effective is the salt brine this far from the event itself? I mean, 72 hours, is it going to be effective in a couple of days for these first roads that you're applying it to?
Sure, it'll be effective, but over time it diminishes. You get tires running over it, so there won't be as much of a concentration there as if we were able to do it immediately before the event. That's why we're starting on some of our lower volume primary routes, and then tomorrow and the next day we'll be focusing more on the interstate system where we have the higher speeds and the higher volumes.
And I know you said you've added 80 miles. About how many miles are you guys responsible for in the Triangle area?
We are responsible for close to 15,000 lane miles in the Division 5.
Wow.
15,000 lane miles.
And can you talk a little bit, obviously in North Carolina, we never know if we're going to get snow, if we're going to get ice, or if we're going to get freezing rain. Does the type of precipitation change your response or not?
Yeah, we definitely are watching the forecast. The type of precipitation does impact us as well as the weather. At this particular event, we're cold going in, so we're doing brine out in advance. The amount of precipitation if we get 1 to 3 inches, it's going to be a similar response. It'll just take us a little longer on the back end for it to either be pushed off or melt off. The more precipitation we get. The bigger challenge is if we get freezing rain. With freezing rain and also colder temperatures going in, the snow and the ice will actually bond to the pavement structure. And when that happens, it's a tough day for everybody. And it takes a lot longer to be able to get everything reopened. So.
I think there's. Oh, sorry, you go.
What is the climate like, given we've had some more milder winters the past few seasons?
Can you say that again?
What's your supply of salt brine looking like, given the fact we've had a little bit more milder winters the past few seasons?
Well, we're fortunate in this storm being a little farther south than the last storm that just came across. If you go up into Virginia, they've put a lot of material out. We're fully stocked. We're ready to go. So yeah, we're coming in this one strong.
And it has like any of the past winter seasons influence, like we don't have, now for this winter, or how far out in advance is that planned out?
At the end of every season, we make sure that all our salt facilities are full, so that we start out strong every year.
Any idea how many tons of salt you guys have on retainer?
We generally, in this area, will have close to 14,000 tons of salt ready to go. Don't hold me to that number specifically.
Approximately.
But approximately 14,000 tons, and we have the ability to manufacture salt brine at a pretty rapid rate. Here, we call this Brine Mountain, where we have one of our larger salt storage facilities in the Wake County, Durham County area. We actually have 2 salt brine plants here that can produce 320 gallons a minute of brine. So we keep up with, we can put it out, we put it out slower than we can actually manufacture it here.
I think there's a trope from the north that when there's a couple of inches of snow in the south, things go crazy, that, people forget how to drive and it's mayhem for just a couple inches of snow. When you hear that, do you find that as like a challenge? What do you say to folks that think they can do snow better than you can?
We can do snow and ice as good as anybody can. The trick of it is a lot of our folks just don't have the experience that you do when you grow up in it or when you experience it every day. We're looking at 1,000 days since our last snow event. And in that time, we have a lot of new drivers to the area and young drivers that this will be their first time in it. So everybody just needs to be patient and we'll get through this.
What do you tell drivers, especially when you've got plows on the road, you've got equipment on the road, how far people need to stay back, avoid them, things like that?
So whenever we're doing our site run operations, we're often spraying 2 lanes at once, particularly on our interstates where we have 3 and 4 lanes out there. Give us a wide berth, stay back off us. If you come up on a salt truck and you get too close, you're going to get some salt on your truck as well as on your windshield, which makes your visibility limited. So just give us a wide berth and please be patient as we go out. We were able to stay out of the morning rush hour today, but tonight we'll be in rush hour trying to get as much coverage as we can in advance of the storm.
Anything else important?
Lots of important. We started applying salt brine earlier this morning, probably in the last hour.
That might be a better question for
we
the
will
other
go
guy who's
until
going to walk
temperatures
around.
drop into the mid-20s, and then we'll be back preparing for tomorrow. And we'll be waiting in the morning for the temperatures to come back up before we head back up.
That's a good question.
We're thinking probably 9, 10 until we see temperatures. They're calling for it to be in the low 20s, high teens tonight. It's pretty cold. We use pavement temperature monitors to be able to see where we're at in the temperature before we go out.
Some big tankers here behind you. Is that what the brine's in?
Yeah, we have a series of different types of brine applicators. What you're seeing here is our pull behinds. They have some of the highest capacity. We'll focus them primarily on our multi-lane routes where we'll be able to spray across 2 lanes. And then we have smaller in-body tanks in our dump trucks. We use those more on the 2-lane or smaller volume primary routes. So NCDOT has Drive NC. That's a great place to go up for up-to-date both weather, hurricanes, snow and ice, and routine construction issues or maintenance operations. We try to put all that into that one location. Great resource. as you're making a decision whether to go out or not. And also listen to your local news. You guys are always on the spot, keeping everybody informed.
When do like operations shift from prep to dealing with the snow?
Sure, we plan to be running brine up until the afternoon of Friday. Some of our trucks that are our dump trucks that have our in-body tankers, we'll start pulling those out actually on Friday in preparation for the event, loading them up so that when we start seeing the snow hit the ground, we're ready to go.
Cool.
And I wanted you guys to know, Hope just informed me that the brine trucks that were just leaving, they're headed to the toll road 540 and the turnpike to start brining. So if you want to put your choppers up or head there with your cameras, if anyone wants to get in the brining, that's what they're going to do.
Cool. 540, you said?
540, right near the airtrack where we go.
Yeah. All right.
I've
Awesome.
already told the ladies. I told them that they're going right up here to 540 and the turnpike, where you have to pay the toll road. They're going to start brining. So that's a long link. So all choppers are going to
I'll give them a call.
Are you guys finished with asking questions here? You ready to do individual stuff? Or good?
Yeah, I mean, can we follow him around to kind of show everything? Okay. Yeah.
Change to Hope now.
Yep.
But yes, you can.
Okay. Great.
I just wanted you guys to let your people know back in
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a call
because I
now.
was going to call them, but y'all are just faster.
Yeah.
And they may have just been listening. So.
Sure.